Hello everybody, this is Felix Tuchinski, and today, what we're looking at right now is something I'll have to get to later. I didn't have more footage of it. I apologize and I'm sorry. Right, but remember this quick little quip right here, because we're going to be talking about that first. So, I'm going to be uploading a video, if I haven't already, on that first clip about me fixing it, whatever. That was a min-miss base, it went well, plenty of stories to tell. But as for right now, what you're seeing on the screen here is what followed that. So, basically, Kerbal Space Program has ways of progressing, let me say. And it likes to stick to those ways. So, you're supposed to go to the Mun first, and then head on to Min-Miss. I managed to get around it this time. I'm not sure exactly what process I did. I think I just used like a combination of man probes, and getting really lucky with specific contracts. So you see, this is going to be quickly cut around. This is the shortest I could make this while keeping it coherent. I am not kidding. And also giving me the time to show off the meat of it. So this is the beginning of this mission. Basically, as you might suspect, I'm getting a bunch of contracts now that just keep repeating. I've gone like 2 weeks into the game, and it's just the same 3 contracts over and over and over again. And they're telling me, hey, how about you dock to craft in orbit of the Mun, walk on the Mun, and orbit around the Mun, spacewalk around the Mun. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. So I'm going to do it all at once. What you see here, I can upload the craft file in the description, or craft files, was my attempt to create Apollo, basically, but, in Kerbal Space Program, so the lander is also enormous and has, can I mention how long this took? Literally what it was? Watch. I take out the SAS, boom, there you go. That was it. Wasted way too much RCS fuel. That's all right. But I have a short supply, but I'm getting really good at being efficient with it. So first thing, disable crossfeed, shut down the other engine, and make sure you're controlling from the capsule that you want to be facing towards, because that giant thing down there is what. Oh, this whole thing as a body weighs about 40 tons, by the way. I actually made a different launcher for it, because there was no way for me to. Well, I tried to launch both these at the same time. First attempt failed, and I only got the command module into space, and the lander just fell back into the atmosphere. Yeah, I wish I'd been it was not fun. It was not a fun time, and I wouldn't want to recreate it either. So here we are. Basically, I docked to the station. That station has saved me so many times. If you have a contract to build a space station, you're just like, oh, that sounds boring, do it. It's got, I have to put 4,000 units of liquid fuel on it. When am I ever going to use that? I did just now, refueling that bottom stage in the fuel that I'm using right now. Now, you may have seen, only 1,700 meters per second at Delta V, what the heck? Well, I mean, for you more avid players, it's because the purpose of this stage is get a capture with the Mun, slow down at the Mun, and then be in orbit of the Mun and basically be a refueling station for the command module to land, basically. And you're like, refueling station, once you land, are you just coming back up? We'll get to that later. Okay? We'll get to that later. But yeah, here we are. I'm finishing every single Mun contract I get. I'm like, I'm not doing this ever again. And it worked, right? A bit of foreshadowing. I'm going to do, because I'm going to commit myself to it, a mission to like one of the other planets. I figured out the Kerbin system, like Mun, Min-Miss, that's fine. But I've got a flyby of Elu and return from Elu, so we're going to do that next. So you see what I'm doing here is I'm slowing down this orbit to about 10 kilometers above sea level, but it's more like on average about 5 kilometers. Yeah, so now we're skipping ahead here to this Kerbal. Bill's a great guy. And I'm going to show this once. He's going to take this thing, put it in his inventory, and then he's going to fly on over to the lander and put it in there. Yeah, so the command module actually has 2 complete sets of ground equipment. Now, it would have been much more cost-effective to do this on Min-Miss, yes, but again, the contracts were just. I got like $1 million overall. I netted $1 million. You see, now I've transferred 1 set. And if you're wondering why I'm putting 4 solar panels on that, we'll get to that discussion in a moment. But basically, yeah, so there you go. And also, yeah, like I said, I've literally planted so many flags and everything on Min-Miss. Never even been in low low Mun orbit. I think the first time my Kerbals were in low Mun orbit was when they were coming back from a Minmus mission. I just happened to encounter the Mun. It was a nice bit of science. Didn't change the contracts one little bit because it's an annoying little. Wait, hold on. I'm thinking about it. Something seems to be missing. I don't know if it's just me or like. Oh yeah, the sound. So I was in a Discord call at this time, so I cut a lot of the noise out. I hope you enjoy. I know. It's my first attempt at doing something like that, but the music is not mine. Let me be first to tell you, his name is Nosite, and he made the background check. Oh, yes, and it's here to stay. It's here to stay. He made a whole background check. Sorry, wrong thing, wrong mindset. He made a whole background track for me. And as you saw there, we have a bunch of solar panels. Don't worry, we'll have plenty of time to discuss that. As I'm sure you're looking at the video length by now, and you're like, what? So let me explain. For KSP veterans out there, you'll know, you knew this from the beginning. This isn't gonna land once. You heard my tone of voice. I was like, I am sick and tired of the MUN contract. I want no more MUN contracts. I am not going to the MUN anymore. I find it to be relatively, no offense, a boring, just celestial object. Just because I landed on it 7 years ago. And although the terrain updates have been great, and, you know, there's a bunch of Easter eggs around it, I'm all tuckered out on the MUN. But anyway, to get back to it, so now what we're doing right here is refueling. So we're using the command module's fuel, putting it back inside, and we're not going to refuel all the tanks, because I'm lazy. We're only refueling that main tank in there. Those tanks on the side are just insurance, you know, because I'm lazy and I didn't want to do the hard math that comes in. I've been just like gauging it and guessing and going, yeah, that'll probably work. But anyway, for those of you that think I might be cheating, here is completely uncut the landing from this point, right? Yeah. So we've already undocked. Look, man, I'm going to tell you, to keep this video as short as it was a nightmare. I spent an hour on this editing, dear God. But back to the video. So you see right here, I've deployed the landing legs, everything's good. The way I slow down usually is obviously not a suicide burn, because you need, you know, computer level accuracy, but it is as close as I can get. I'll start slowing down like a good chunk before it, basically be my own atmosphere, is what I like to think about. And this place looks good. So the thing is here, right? This is a save without quick loading. So doing a mission where I have to land 3 times, each time in a different biome with no fuel to spare. Well, I guess if I did one mistake, I could do like a quick 10-kilometer hop, but you know, that would be embarrassing. So, oh yeah, by the way, we land 3 times. So this is time number 2. But I only had enough space in there for 2. Well, I technically had 3, but that's one thing I learned. You think you know a lot about this game until you are brought face to face with, well, an update, to be fair. That's besides the point. As you can see here, we're slowing down now, and I'm just looking for a flat landing spot, honestly. Like my rate of descent is dependent on, does that look flat enough? I mean, another thing I'm also trying to do here is to save myself some hassle and some delta V and inclination changes. I'm trying to stay along the same line. So I'm like, oh, that's all pretty rough. I don't want to land anywhere near there. So I think, yeah, I end up landing right over this ridge here. Yeah, I think this is where I come down. Dude, it's funny. I've seen this so many times, but now it's like, it looks recognizable now because I've been here, right? Yeah, but here we come. We're coming in now. I usually try to keep it this way. I try to stay about 13 to 15 seconds from, if I didn't burn anymore, I'd crash into the ground. Okay, well, anywhere from 13 to 18 looks like. I was playing it incredibly safe because this is the second landing. Also, I had 3 crew members aboard. Yeah, this is a cursed save. I don't know what it is, but like, I have parts, like, I tried to like use the Twitch launcher and like download mods. It never showed up, and then I deleted everything, and then like 2 parts to spin. This save is going to land a person on Elu, return them from Elu, and then I'm going to crash it and burn it away, and then spend a week trying to download enough mods to get RSS working on a laptop. Believe me, it'll be difficult. I just won't install any of the graphical mods. There's a reason this is in 1280 by 720. It's for the frame rate, right? Oh, so here we come. Here we go. Very close now. The height of a building in downtown, and come on. Ugh, such a pansy. But here we come to the surface, and boom, boom. A little bounce. You got a lot more bounce in those landing legs than you would in reality, so I have a lot more leeway. So that took about 650 meters per second to slow down. Not my best. I have done it with less, but it's you do what you can. So here I'm just showing you. I'm getting all the science. So the first thing you want to do is get that crew report. What is this, tutorial? I don't know. But you see, I'm not actually too far from where I landed previously, because in this game, the biomes are, well, I mean, everything in this game is tiny. What do you want? You know, all this looks good. Mystery goo, yada yada. I do like the, oh, and this thing. So I have unlocked quite a few more tech nodes since the last game. I mean, I've gone to Minmus, so I've gotten basically all the early science. Let me know if you want to see the science tech tree in the next video, for the one of you still watching. Oh, yep, and see, I transferred all the surface. That was one of my favorite updates, is the surface experimentation. And this thing. This is, as I understand, it was also added to the base game. See, I don't know the difference because, you know, I'm an early supporter. And this is when I learned that does not work on the surface. That only works, apparently, in space. So that's good to know. But you can still retract it, which is nice. And, yeah, now that's the second time I've landed. Just being awfully careful. And now, basically, the first guy I'm getting out is my scientist. So we can do all the resetting and everything. I have like a... I got this thing thought out and, like, planned. Maybe I am an OS major. Procedures. See, so quick, so efficient. Oh boy, if my professor could see me now. But yeah, here we go. Collect that. Restore. Oh yeah, and I believe I forgot to restore it. Yep, I just noticed it. I forgot to restore it right here. Oh no, I did not. Ah, sorry. Then bring it all back. And now, so if you're new to this stuff, so yeah, skip this a little bit because that was all boring and annoying. But yeah, so east far side. So this is the far side crater biome. Just leaving Bob out here. Bob's the scientist, right? Yeah. Oh, nothing on the plaque. I was like, I thought I was forgetting something. Yeah, but you see, that water level thing. It doesn't make, I forget, I think it's the average for celestial bodies without water, just the average height or something. I don't know. See, this thing is 4 meters above the ground level, which is way not. When they added that feature, dude, landing became so much easier. But here we have Bill. So Bill's the engineer. So these parts are very interesting. They added like kind of skills and stuff. See, so he's gonna place this thing down, and this I believe can be placed down by anyone. Its effects are not changed at all. Oh yeah, I'm very particular with how this looks. Yeah, the J. I remember J, K, L, and I, and J and L keys are used right here. Okay, I do like the noises they make in deploying and stuff, but the audio. I wish I could do something about the game audio to make it sound better. There's probably a mod for that. Probably. There's like the Kerbal Space Program is, I don't know what it's not Rule 34, it's the mod Rule 34. Google it. No, don't. So here we go. Yeah, Bill's now gonna grab, the order I usually do it is I do the command thingy. Oh, yeah, he just want to do a little dance. I do the command thingy, then I do the photovoltaic panel. Now here's something I did not know. In previous saves, in order to save fuel, and because I was underestimating myself, I would always bring just a 2-person lander with like a pilot and a scientist, because I figured that's all you need. Not so, because when he deploys these photovoltaic panels, they generate 2 units of electricity instead of just 1. So you can have the amount of photovoltaic panels you can bring. That's why I brought so many, because I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna need like 4 of them to power the 4 instruments. No, you only need 2. You only need 2. That's why I had so many spares. So I put 3 down in case I wanted to come back and add the. There's one other science experiment that you don't. It's like 5. It's in a science node in the research tree that's like 550 science. It's one of those that you unlock. And yeah, I might want to bring that back. As far as I understand it, that generates a lot of science. And yeah, so here he comes. So deploying it, trying to make it look nice. I hope that in Kerbal Space Program 2 they have a, like, it's not like this. Like, this is an okay system for like tiny things like this. I know. What is this? A good way to describe it is it's like crenellations on the Death Star, for say. So if they just had the sphere of the Death Star, it would look boring and it wouldn't look as cool when it blew up. But they have crenellations, they have indents, they have all this design and architecture, yada 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 yada. This stuff right here is the icing on the cake, the crenellations, the creme de la creme, the girlfriend plays video games of Kerbal Space Program. Right here is this little stuff. Like, because the flag, when they added flags, that was cool. I think that's the same update when they added EVAs in general, but it's just nice to leave stuff behind, leave stuff behind and build it and see it grow. It's a whole, it's like an ant colony thing. I don't know. But this is nice. This is cool because I can, also that it makes science on its own, which is also really nice. I just hate the fact that the thermoelectric generator is so high up there. I think it's in another 550. It might even be in 1,000 node. Yeah, it's in 1,000. It's for those far out probes. So these things can operate at night, basically. Here's a communication dish as well. Oh, and boop, there it goes. Yeah, that you don't get for a minute. So you'll have to land like a probe body with like a satellite, or like leave the base of your lander with a satellite tip and a probe body on it if you want to do these like really early game. There's no point. I mean, there's a couple contracts for them, but it takes for like, it's like 50% of the total science, and it's like, dude, that's gonna take like weeks. I don't think the contracts in this game, excuse me, the contracts in this game don't follow the time very well. It's like, well, I can just launch this rocket right away. That's why I want a mod that makes it so I have to like wait for my rockets to be built to be more. Or I want RSS basically, but I want to wait until I also want to test out the new features in the next update. Like they're giving engineers a whole new thing. And you see, oh, here's a mistake I made. I got too excited now. Bill is placing the science module. Here's the issue with that. And I ultimately decided to put it right here. I was like, I try to make these look somewhat workable. Here's another thing I learned. So he's gonna place it, and then I'm like, oh shit, it's Bill. He's the engineer. So it does actually have an effect. Well, beyond the power thing, the science has an effect. So I think I realized it about here, and I'm like, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? Is there a way to pick it up or anything? Turns out, yes, there is. No panicking. Oh no, I didn't realize. Oh my god, how dumb am I? Doornail? Dumber than a doornail. Way dumber than a doornail. Hello? Oh, I think I noticed it right there. I was like, ah! Wait, come on. Oh, you could tell. I'm not as good a judge of character as I thought. I know myself least. Oh, maybe it was the face plant. That might have been when I realized. Yeah, okay. I was like, yep. So Bob, I'm like, okay, I gotta figure this out. So Bob is our scientist. So you see, look at that, 0.05 science per hour. No thank you. And so I pick it up. Here's the thing. So you can pick it up, and you can review the stored data. This is how you do it. Because I was like, oh my god, it's not in my inventory. Ah! And then it's like 0 science. And I'm like, well, that doesn't make... I'm going to discard data. I don't know if this is what does it. But, no. See, it doesn't show up in the inventory. And I'm like, oh, what? I just lost it. Oh no. And then I'm with Bob again. And I'm like, well, shizer. And... so I'm like, oh, well, he has that in his inventory, whatever. I'm going to place it down. And then I'm like, wait, there it is in Bob's inventory. What? Hold up. So I switch over to Bob. Well, to the flag and then Bob. Yeah, this gets, there you go. There's got to be a better system than that, by the way. Just literally pressing, like, forward and backward bracket, left and right brackets. Just, it's the most annoying thing. See, now you'll see. So now the Mystery Goo science is going to be observed. This Mystery Goo gag is gone forever. And see, 0.5, 10 times the science output. And he's a level 2 scientist. That's only 45% of the science rate. So as soon as I get him up to level 3, it'll be a lot better. I don't know if there's a way to do it within the Kerbal system. I think to get to a guy to level 3, you have to have at least sent him interplanetary. But there you go. So that works. And that little camera will twiddle around and have all those moving parts that will totally work in a vacuum. And then this thing, oh, I put it in Bob's inventory. See, so you can do that as well. You can move it between Kerbal's inventory. And he's gonna, just for aesthetic purposes, I put it way far away because in my mind it makes sense. It's like, this is the Gram. So this piece of scientific technology, basically, in order for it to work, you have to slam something into the planet. And I built missiles to do this, but mostly what I'm using is satellite contracts from like in-game weeks ago that like I'm not using the satellites for anything because they have the crappy like they have the crappy for like first and second gen radios. Boop. Deployment. Kaplooey. And see, so yeah, so that thing you have to slam something into the ground for it to work. That's the only way it works. Mr. Goo will generate science on its own though. which is nice. But it needs the command thingy, it needs the solar panels to power everything, and it needs the communications thing. And you need, yeah, so imagine 4 of those solar panels in order to do any of this, which is what I did in a previous save of mine. And I was like, oh man, I don't know how to save. I gotta save mass. Let me only bring a 2-person capsule, so I don't have to bring an engineer along. And then lo and behold, I think the most energy efficient way to do it would be an engineer, a scientist, and that probe core you get at like the 550 science level. That's like tiny. It's a little expensive, but it's tiny. Just put that in like a reaction wheel cylinder, and you're good. You're good to go. That would be the most mass efficient thing. But I brought all 3 of them here just so everybody could get the most experience. Everybody could plant the flag. As far as I know, planting the flag does actually give you some more XP, which is interesting. So have your Kerbals plant as many flags. If you're like, flags are unnecessary and they cloud up my game, just delete them later. Just delete them later. But well, I might be speaking out of my butt here, so who knows. I'm watching the EVA fuel, because on Minmus, if you run out of EVA, you can fidget your way in there. The mud is actually heavy enough where it's a little dangerous, where you do want to have that like tiny bit of EVA fuel left to get into the capsule. If you're a absolute just unwilling to budge accountant and consider ladders to be an unnecessary weight, because I see that the total available delta V drop by 2 meters per second when I put the ladder on there, and I'm like, you could use it. When I do my manned mission to the surface of Eve, no, not in this save, because I want to. Basically, this save is cursed. The launch of these 2 vehicles in the first place just worked completely well in the simulation. I uploaded it to the Steam library unlisted, and then just loaded it up in a sandbox game, and it worked. But not in this one, not in this game. Not in this god-awful game. Sorry. Save. God-awful save. It's just a save. I think, I screwed everything up, and I'm going to need to come back with a clean slate, but not until I don't care if it breaks me. One of these guys, preferably all 3 of them, is going to land on... Well, actually, I don't think... No, the pilot's Valentina, I just realized. I brought Valentina, not Jeb. No, I did bring Jeb. Valentina I brought to the next mission. Oh, yep, salute. Back. I'm saluting. You can't see. Probably a piss poor salute. But I want to bring 3-person capsule with enough food and supplies using the TAC life support mod and have them survive. I want to put them down on Minmus's surface. Minmusai. Elus. Jeez. See, I've never been to Elu. I've been to Elu once in the sandbox game. In a craft that I cheated there, so that's it. I want to go to Elu completely legit in this game with life support, and like I'm missing, like I don't have the. So you might be seeing that I'm still using the docking port Junior. One of the parts that disappeared is the regular docking port. I have the docking port Junior. I have the docking port Senior. Well, not yet because I haven't unlocked it, and I have like 2 other docking ports, but not the docking port. Like I don't know which mod messed it up, but there you go. That's how it be, my guy. And this thing we're just going to leave here. I'm going to rename it to something I'm still very, very proud of. I'm like, Automated Science Station 2. My favorite acronym I've ever come up with in this game. And I've come up with some pretty good ones. You know. Oh, here we go. This guy's getting back into the capsule. So now we're going to do just a hop. So you saw the first time we landed, we unloaded everything. We set up an automated science station. That's the one that's over there. See, 88 kilometers over there. And this is the second one. But now we don't have any more left. So we're like, and I also deposited the solar panels because those things are heavy. Like a surprising amount. One full kit is like 0.4 tons, or sorry, 400 kilograms. It's like wow. Like you'd be surprised how quickly that eats up your fuel. So now we're going to take off, and we're just going to do a slight hop. See, everything's fine. I turned so that my just so it's like you're launching from the launch pad, so 90 degrees is to your right. It's just a personal preference. Also makes it easier in my brain. And the nice thing about places without atmosphere is you can turn right. Like, don't worry about getting high up like you would on Kerbin with the atmosphere. There's no atmosphere to worry about. So you just turn right. Just make sure your apoapsis doesn't interact with any terrain. You don't become pancake soup. Pancake Soup McGee, pudding vanilla. I haven't eaten today, and you just go for it. And usually I do something like this, and then I think 6 kilometers. No, I went for 8 kilometers this time, and I'm headed for that ridge, the edge of the crater. So you might see that first base to the right. That was the Midlands, I believe, and oh no, Lowlands. I can't remember. But this is the east far side crater that we just landed in and put a base in. So now we're headed for the Highlands, which you can tell. So for those of you that are like, well, I'm just gonna load up the cheats to see the biomes because that's only fair. You can actually kind of, I mean, maybe it's just because I'm a guru at the game, but you can see like in the map screen where the Highlands is. You can like see it's like it looks different. Just look at the edge of the east side crater. You see those, like, you can tell it's like a slightly different shade of, it's like lighter gray. It's actually what it is it's closer to us. If you yeah, that makes it way more obvious. You can tell it's how high it is. That's just a way to do it without cheating, I guess. I was one of you once. And here we go. Just, man. And I don't want to waste any more fuel going that way. I like this pretty good, you know, right? No, I'm going to burn a little bit more. Yeah, but you don't even need to reach orbital velocity. So if you do a hop like this, you want it, the smaller the better. So you like landing on the edge of 2 biomes or the 3 biomes if you can really manage that, which you can't do off the equator, I don't believe. Well, I mean, the closest you could get is landing where I'm about to land and then like going that way and that way. But I ended up doing it this way just so I could do 2 full base deployments. Now thinking about it, of course, there are a million different ways I could have done this mission, and a lot better. Yes. Here we go. So I'm not going to slow down yet. I'm just floating over here. It's kind of crazy to think how, like 6 kilometers is not that far. So even, this is the lowest resolution of this game, by the way. I mean, if it wasn't already apparent. I mean, it is in the map screen. But it still looks really good. I mean, I'm saying that from my privileged position of being in 2020. Here we go. Yeah, I'm just gonna reach the edge of the far side crater here. Come on. Beautiful. Bill and Jebediah. I like that Bill is happy. When Jebediah is happy, well, water's wet. But when Bill is happy, oh, I'm just see. So now I'm getting out to gauge. Yeah, but when Bill is happy, you know things are actually going pretty well. Yeah, so the only way to tell what biome you're really in, this early in the game, before you have like that whole comm system set up, which I've never done, is to get one of your guys out. EVA report. Yep, see, still east far side crater. Nope. The second it's, I mean, it might be too late in some cases if it's like, you know, Highlands. Boom. If it's like the canyon on the Mun, which I landed in once before. But here we go. But yeah. Yeah, a lot closer to that first base. We're not quite gonna get there. Well, we don't want to because that's a different biome. Well, a biome we've already been to. And what really worked out in our favor is these are all biomes we haven't been to before. Because I have landed on the Moon and returned. I've landed on the Mun and returned from the Mun, but with a probe core body. So we have actually gotten signs from the Mun. Not very much, mind you, but you know. But even our barometer and temperature signs were at full because I believe then is when I landed in the Lowlands biome. Because this time, Midlands, Highlands, and the East Far Side crater. Boom, just done. Oh boy. Sorry, this music. Once again, Nosite. Great friend of mine and a great composer. Like, dear God. I love his music. If you don't know him, check him out. He's on GarageBand and on Spotify and all the things, and I'll have a link to him in the description. Also for the craft files, if you want to see, if you think you can make if you know the ways in which you can make this craft better. Here we go. And I cut this one a lot closer, obviously, because, oh, and you see that? Remember that rock? See that little patch of gray? That's a rock. Remember that for later. But here we come. Landing on the Mun again. So this was just a quick little hop. So we don't have any more base or anything to do, but we can still do the science, which is primarily what this is for. This will get us another 200 or 300 science, which is like a whole nother tech node, which is like totally worth it. Oh, and here I am skipping ahead just a little bit. Yeah. And that's the command module right there. Yeah. So even though orbital velocity is 4 times slower on the Mun than on Kerbin, and about 550 meters per second, that's what it looks like from the surface. Which is just insane to me. Yeah. So that thing, see, it was only 5 kilometers, like 5.5 kilometers above us. Look how quick that thing is going. Like, and people are just like, space travel, once you're past, like, the atmosphere, seems like a lot easier. It's like getting out of the atmosphere is hard. And I'm like, I don't know how they, like, on the real moon, like, how did they bring that much fuel? My God, like, they must have been moving at least, like, really quickly. Oh, and here we go. So this will be a lot nicer. Bob, hopefully not gonna nudge the landing gear too much. But yeah, he's gonna walk over here. Yeah, on one of the contracts I had is to bring back a Mun stone or something. I don't remember what it's called. So we're just gonna have Bob walk over here. I mean, it seems the most appropriate. He's a scientist, might as well do it. Here he goes. Yeah, and this is it. A lot of this game is this. A lot of people are like, oh, I'm gonna bring a rover, like, and stuff like that. But no, one of my favorite videos of Kerbal Space Program, period, is Scott Manley walking a Kerbal across Minmus, which he probably, I bet he just set up a command to do it, but it's still like, and it's all sped up to like 16 times speed, but it's just like, wow, like just walking a Kerbal that far. You can't do attack life support though. The spacesuits only have a day worth of, well, not even, it's like 5 hours and 50 minutes, 5 hours and 50 minutes worth of supply. And besides that, at a meter per second, that's not going to get you very far. That's going to get you 3,600 times 5, 18 kilometers. That's not too far. Like, I couldn't even walk over to that. I could only walk halfway to that command station. Sorry, that science station. Oh, and we're going to take the, yeah, oh, nope. Oh, it was there for a second. Pick up Mun. Here, I'm going to just jump. Oh, yep. Even on the Mun, though. On Minmus, that's insane. On Minmus, they'll jump quite. So just pick up Munstone. It's kind of like Minecraft. Doesn't make any sense. Like, where is he putting that? Like, huh? Like, my guess is he takes like this tiny chunk and the rest of it just disintegrates. And I just plant a flag, so Bob can also have planted a flag to get that XP. Just in case, I guess it's just a tradition at this point. But you can see the mod right there, and all those options and everything. Oh, yep. And now we're skipping. Yep. So we're skipping again because we don't need to see him walk back. Just turning around there, doing a little twirly dance. And now we're gonna catch up. You see, I lift myself off just to make sure I don't hit any terrain. And even this, I'm being a little, like, if you're really strapped for fuel, you could turn right like immediately, but just, it can cut it pretty close. And I'm skipping way ahead just because we've already seen the return, if cut into pieces, and the docking. But here we go. So now Bob is taking all the science from the lander, and there's no, like, you can transfer crew easily enough, but to transfer data, you have to actually fly the Kerbal over. And now here he comes, boards the craft, and there we go. Just making sure everything's there. Yep. And then later I transport some of the food over, and now we're gonna say goodbye to it. Yeah. Bye-bye. It's a good craft. It's still in orbit, so we can use it later. We can dock with it, refuel it, and use it again if we need to, and actually restock it. Wouldn't that be something? I think I want to land on the poles though. But here we come. Back to Kerbin now. This is still touchy-feely. There's no, like, I mean, there's no intuitive way to do this, at least for Minmus. The way I see it, you want to send yourself behind the Mun. You don't want to send yourself in front of the Mun, because then you'll get caught back in its orbit, and weird, wacky things happen. So you just want to leave its sphere of influence in the right direction. It's my way of thinking about it. Here we go. So now we've left the meat and potatoes. We're back to the end. This is the dessert. Get back to Kerbin, make sure these guys survive. And I believe we got 1,400 science for this mission. Oh, here we go. So I don't show you the science end screen, but I do show you this. And I missed one. Yeah, but see, oh, never mind. But so there was some science from the Midlands that so darn. So I'll have to go. There's like 4 or 5 more biomes I need to go to on the Mun if I want that science. It won't finish off the tech tree. I mean, it might finish off the tech tree. You never know. But, yep, here we go. And just like Apollo, down to the command module. And here we go. This is going to be pretty... I mean, it's not the fastest. I've certainly come down like 200 meters per second or so faster. So, you know, it's all right. And now I'm going to pin this so you guys can see the ablator. So I cut this closely because you can only do it in 60 increments of 60 ablator. Nice. But here it is, like going down at, what is that? It's about to accelerate, but I think it gets up to 2.4 per second. Like that's pretty quick, my guy. And you have to spend like a minute or so in atmosphere, at least. And I was actually surprised. This first stage does, in fact, survive re-entry. I mean, not the engine, I don't believe, but most of it does. But here we go. There's that ablator just disintegrating. And it always heats up, the capsule, just somehow. But, again, I won't put a radiator on it, because I'm like, that's unnecessary weight. It's not going to get that hot. Here we come. It's not bad, too. For having landed on the Mun 3 times and redocked with a capsule... For like, what is that? That's within 18 hours. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Because remember, in Kerbal Space Program, a day is 6 hours. Kerbal Space Program. Sorry, I've been talking for 40 minutes. I haven't had to do this in a long time. At least not constantly, non-stop. I've done podcasts, but at least you get breaks then. Speaking of breaks, the entire capsule is about to explode. I'm sorry, I lied to you. It's not about to explode. About to explode. I'm done. All right. I will film the bits and pieces of stuff. Let me know what you want to see, of course. I don't particularly feel like covering every single thing that happens in this series. It's a series. Oh God, I said hello, everybody, in the beginning of the... Oh no, is it happening again? Not the YouTube phase, not all over again. No. You can't upload 200 videos and become a YouTuber with a squeaker voice. It doesn't happen like that. God, sorry. That music is real nice. You see, we had way more food and oxygen than I thought we needed. Generate CO2. I just love that. It's funny how I make this game harder on myself for absolutely no reason, but I can't compare myself to, you know, RSS people, but I'm actively seeking and learning on how to do that. So there you go. There's a desktop PC in the cards for me, you know. Or the car could have another freaking issue again and send me back 2 years. But let's not talk about that. Oh, God. Here we go. Yeah. I hate how dark it is. Nosite. Check him out in the comments. Oh, yes. But next after this is a Minmus mission. It's another base. It's pretty good. Editing that video probably in another 2 weeks. I don't know. And boom. Yeah. We're still kind of coming down pretty quickly. Oh, there we go. Yeah, we're landing in the grasslands. Yeah, have a good rest of your 2020. Probably upload once again. I don't know. I'm gonna go play Minecraft now. I might record it or something. I don't know. Yeah. Such a useful feature. Sorry. No. You know, maybe he can see his house because it's in his dreams or something. I have nothing good to end this on after all this time. Well, I forgot my outro. Cheers out, mate. Cheers out.